David Solomon. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. You think about it, we rant about it. Listen to us live on Facebook.
I got to punch the screen in because I'm just, anger management. David, we've been doing this now for a while, but there's a lot of very similar, themes that just keep reemerging and being regurgitated like a cow chewing its cud over and over and over again. And, the silence on the left is deafening only when it doesn't fit their agenda, which is a constant theme that we have been bringing up in different ways over and over and over again. You call a black man a nigger, you hear it in the front of the page of every paper. You call a Jew a kike, and it doesn't even matter, David. But it's more than that, isn't it?
Well, you kind of went a lot further than I expected, but thank you very much for opening up this salvo like this, because yes, racism obviously doesn't make a difference. And if you read an op-ed today in Newsweek, it's interesting because that's exactly what Stuart was talking about. But really, the conversation goes beyond that. And that is just, let's take a look at what happened the last couple of days. The Don't Say Gay bill, which I hate the term, gets lambasted big time by Disney employees, Disney people. Everybody's freaking out. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? But the Disney-owned ABC Corporation, when Sunny Hostin stands on The View and says, I don't understand Black Republicans and I don't understand Latino Republicans. Why? Because she says that Black Republicans are an oxymoron. And she doesn't understand how people who are on Black or Latino can affiliate themselves with the Republican Party. Now, the fascinating thing of all this is that the reason that she's tied this in is to believe that Republicans are all racists. Again, that's okay. And the excuse is, well, Ana Navarro, who's on this show, an ex-CNN person, let's be realistic. She's a Republican strategist. No, she's a Democrat. Let's not paint this any other way. She is a pure, unadulterated Democrat who hates Republicans. And if you just listen to the way The View talks, they consider conservatives racists, anti-feminists, anti-left. And all of a sudden, Disney/ABC, silence. Not a word. Not a slap on the wrist for Sunny Hostin. It's okay. Now, let's flip the narratives. Over the weekend, pro-abortion demonstrators were in front of various Supreme Court justices' homes. They put their addresses on the web, and they told them it's okay to protest. Well, lo and behold, and by the way, that was okay. Lo and behold, they're in front of Nancy Pelosi's home.
Oh, wait.
It's not okay. Now it's not okay. How dare you do it? You should not bring this to someone's home. It's their private home. I'm curious, Stuart, and again, the media, social media, are all complicit in promoting that the left is okay. What they do is fine. How they speak, who they insult. Whoa, one sec. Who they insult. You brought up Jews this morning. No problem. That Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib insult Jews. Racist remarks. That's okay. Republicans are racists. That's okay. Republicans are anti-feminist. That's okay. Protest in front of Republican or conservative judges. That's okay. Just don't do it to me. Crap.
David, even my cousin, who I bring up constantly, good old Ken Hitzig, right?
Poor Rupert.
He has conversations, and it's a Democratic narrative. Again, brilliant people, but narrow-minded, because their exposure and understanding to the whole picture is what's lacking. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of supply of information. He'll say, why do the Republicans have to be so divisive? Why do Republicans have to have so much hate? I'm sorry. Who's chanting death to Jews? Who's chanting
Death
kill
is
the babies? I mean, really, who are the angry mob of America? Unfortunately, they are the Democratic Party. Now, they intentionally release this into the world to try and get the boring Republican to get their blood pressure up so they'd start getting angry. David, you know what's funny? Like always, the conservative, the Republican, sits back in the rocking chair, looks at the TV and goes, "What a bunch of fucking idiots."
You
You
know,
know,
to me, I'm insulted as in terms of, if we think about, this whole business is that if you're black or Latino, you have to support the Democratic Party because they're the party of the underdog. They're the party of the minority. People forget that they were the segregationist party. People forget that they were the ones, especially Southern Democrats, did not want the civil rights movement. And you could tell me, oh, but that was 60 years ago. That doesn't count anymore. No, that's still well in the party. Don't give me some garbage. Don't tell me that the Democrats who sat there for the longest time whining about immigration, the poor immigrants stuck in cages, the poor immigrants, the crying of AOC at the Texas border. Where are you now? Where are you now? Nowhere.
like, David, let's flash back. Obama gets elected. He has both houses in 2008. For 4 years, he controls the complete agenda of America. Did he fix immigration?
No, of course not. But
okay, in the last term that Obama had, he built cages in the southern border.
The point is it's do what I say. Like we talked about this. This is the left once again showing. Look, I'm going to go back a step. Tim Scott, for those of you who don't know,
is from Florida.
Sorry, South Carolina.
Oh, wrong. Sorry. Scott.
Tim Scott is the senator, one of two senators. Him and Lindsey Graham are the two senators from the beautiful state of South Carolina. For those of you who don't know, Tim Scott is an African American. Tim Scott has stood up and has been insulted as being called non-black, anti-black, and because he's on the Republicans and conservative side, he must be a white man and underneath because he can't be black. The mayor of New York, same thing, same insults. If you are not with me, you are against me. And it continues to prevail, and that it is okay for the left and the Sunny Hostins of this world to go on TV, insult people, degrade and denigrate people, but it's not okay when somebody counters you. It's not okay, and it's amazing. It's my thought process that all that matters. And if I go back to that Newsweek article that I mentioned earlier, I want to thank the university professors for promoting hate on campus. I want to thank the media for promoting hate or not promoting hate. Why don't you condemn it? No. And I want to thank Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the rest of them who continue to permit hateful statements on their platforms. But if you mention something that they don't agree with, like what we've done here, strike one, strike two, or if you're the president of the United States, you lose your account. This is what makes no sense. And to call on Monday, and the president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, is the top pig in this matter, because Mr. Biden on last week decided that anyone who is a MAGA supporter, a Trump supporter, is an extremist.
Or deplorable, or deplorable.
Yeah, we know the Hillary Clinton deplorable. Do you understand that they have no problem insulting you and me? No problem. Because they claim they hold the higher moral ground? Bullshit. I call bullshit. And when you look at websites like Rumble, who have to come out, and we're proud to be on Rumble with our videos, when Ben Shapiro gets lambasted, when Don Benigno gets lambasted, because they're exposing a different side. You don't have to agree with it, but they're exposing a different side. They're told that they're racists. And I mean Ben Shapiro, my favorite, when they call him a fascist. I'm like, have you ever seen Ben Shapiro, people? He's hardly a fascist. But he calls out the left and they call him a racist. I'm just trying to understand how he's a racist when he calls you out on your bullshit. Stuart, I like these guys are not welcome to meet on university campuses. They're actually, Ben Shapiro's had to be escorted because he's a security threat. Because those that don't agree with him resort to violence.
Yep.
No words. Violence. And that's acceptable. But it's the right that is the extremist. It's the right that is the racist. It's conservatives who promote hate and divisiveness. Does anybody not see this? Does anyone not see that, you cannot, if you're going to have a rule, Stuart, the rule has got to be for everyone, not just for you, but for everyone.
David, look, we've almost run 3/4 way through our quarter hour. And this is our broadcast that we reach out to you. We're not going to change your mind. I just want to enlighten it. I want to tell you that you got to seek the truth. And if you don't seek the truth and you believe everything you hear, it's kind of like what I read it on the internet. It's got to be true. And the people on the internet are controlling the narrative on what is true. It becomes a very narrow world. In the world of Walter Cronkite, that I've quoted numerous times, you need to have both sides and you need to be able to find a conclusion. When we went to school, David, we were taught to think. Today, you're told what to think.
Well, there would be those who would argue with you that we were always told how to think because the teacher at the front of the classroom has the power. That Walter Cronkite told you how to think. This is what they're saying. It's only now on steroids. And as someone who's taught at McGill University, for the last 5-6 years, I could tell you that it is a very powerful platform to stand in front of students and coerce them. They're easily coerced. Because, Stuart, you think about it. If your professor stood at the front of the classroom, would you really sit there and deny them and argue with them?
Well, I actually did. I did. I had Miss Steinberg, Miss Kelly, Miss Reed, Mr. Hellstrom, Mr. Dunbar, Mr. Shadowitz. I mean, I give a shout out to all these guys if they're ever around or still around. I'm that old, or some of them unfortunately may not be with us. But I gave them all gray hair. And if they said the world was flat, I said bullshit. I was that rebel.
Lord, I was at University of Western Ontario, which, by the way, I have no problem saying what I'm about to say, is as anti-Semitic a university as you're going to find in Canada. I went in front of my...
More so than Concordia?
On the same vein. When the professor stood in front of the classroom and blamed Israel, Stuart, your noise. If he blamed Israel for everything wrong in the Middle East, and I countered her, I was attacked by my students in the classroom, yelled at and screamed at. And the Jewish student who sat next to me looked at me and goes, "What did you do? Don't you understand? You can't say that in a classroom." This was 1990 in the middle of the first Persian Gulf War. But it was Israel at fault. And she stood in front of a classroom of students and validated all the hate and the racism. This continues to permeate in universities, social media, regular media, because find me an anchor who condemns the squad. Find me a social media platform that condemns racism. The answer is...
I found an anchor. I just gave you the whole screen. You're the anchor, David.
Thank you, boss. But on that note, folks, we've run out of time. Another Wednesday has come and gone. Look, folks, we're going to love you and leave you. We wish you all a great rest of the week. Catch us on Friday. Catch us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And please share with us the topics that really concern you. We love to hear from you. Wishing you all a great day. Stuart, say goodbye to the nice people.
Goodbye, nice people in the world.